What's going on, fellow fixers? My name is Jeremy and I am a fixer, and if you like learning how to fix things, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. And hey, if you want to support the channel, here's a card. Go check out a mug. Buy a mug. It'll help us out. Today, I've got a really cool video for you. I'm going to show you something here. Let me grab the camera. All right, we are in my garage and I have been dealing with this issue for a long time. And if you have these kind of shop lights, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that is bad ballasts and bad bulbs. So I've been dealing with this issue since I built the house in 2006, and it is just these ballasts go out. It never seems to matter if I buy expensive ballasts, if I buy cheap ballasts, if I buy the good bulbs, they just inevitably fail. And so the last time that these went out, I said, I am not doing it again. I will not buy any more ballast for these lights. So what I did was I reached out to several LED manufacturers, and this is sort of a sponsored video, but not really. Sunco Lighting right here, they sent me ballast bypass bulbs. They didn't pay me anything. They did provide the bulbs, but I told them I would go ahead and I'd install the bulbs and I'd give you an honest review of what I think of them. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to cut out the ballast out of your traditional ballast shop lights, and we're going to install some of these ballast bypass bulbs. And it's pretty straightforward. Let's get to it. All right, so if you have any interest in these, you can get them on Amazon. I'm going to put a link in the description for them. I'll show you what the bulbs look like. They're going to look very similar to what your traditional ballast bulbs will look like, except they are LED and they require no ballast. So if you open these up, you're going to get a box of several of these. And these are the 18 watt, 2200 lumens, frosted, and 5000 Kelvin, which is sort of the daylight bluish light bulb. You can see here it just really looks like a traditional halogen light. I think that's what those are called. And so I'm going to show you how to install these. All right, so most of these ballast lights are the same. You take the bulbs out. Obviously, make sure you turn the power off to your lights, which I've already done. Take your bulbs out and do not throw your bulbs away. But your ballast is basically going to be about the same. Here is obviously the hot wire and the neutral wire coming in, as well as the ground. The ground is right there. All right, so a traditional ballast bulb is going to get power from both ends of the light. These Sunco LED bulbs, really only one side of the bulb is hot, and one's going to be the hot pin and one's going to be the neutral pin. And so we have to sort of rewire the whole area up here in order to make that happen. And I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so in my configuration, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect and cut these yellow and white wires. We will not use them at all. And instead, what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to cut these blue and red wires as close to the ballast as I can. That way I've got plenty of wire to work with. And I'm going to basically make one red, a red on this side neutral or hot, and the other red neutral. And then one of these blues will be hot and one of these blues will be neutral. And I'll just make sure that I put the right end of the bulb on this side because that's where it's going to draw power. First thing I'm going to do is just untwist these wire nuts and disconnect this part from this whole area. And I'm going to screw these wire nuts back on them just to sort of make sure that they're covered and protected. Again, power is already off. All right, now to remove the ballast, there's one screw on this one side. And again, you will not need ballast anymore, so you can just discard the ballast after you remove it. This comes out. Okay, now I'm using the red and white just because it's longer and it gets over here and I've got enough wires for it. So I'm going to use my wire cutters, just cut those, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these. Get rid of this ballast altogether. I likely won't use those yellow wires at all. I'll cut those out in a minute, but I'm going to save them. All right, now I can go ahead and use my wire cutters and just strip the wire shielding off of these. Okay, now if we look at the instructions for these bulbs, you can see that the load is going to be on the outside leg. So in this case, the load is going to be on these right pins. So I'm going to separate these two wires here, and I'm going to take the red that is on the right and the blue that is on the right, and this is my load legs. So I can take these, take off this wire nut, and wire nut these together. And I know it's confusing because you've got different color wires, but this is how you do it. I mean, technically, I guess you could replace the wires with the same color, maybe get some white and some black, and you're welcome to do that if you want, but I find that it's not necessary. Put that here. If I look at these bulbs, on one side it says AC input, and that's the side you want to put over on this side. So I will clean these wires up in a minute, but I just want to test this and make sure that it's going to work. And we can take our cover, we'll go ahead and put it in. This is honestly probably the hardest part of this whole job. Is getting these covers on and off. Be careful because this metal is sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. All right, moment of truth. Let's turn the light on and see what happens. Hey, hey. You can see how easy it was to get rid of the ballast and put LED ballast bypass bulbs. These are Sunco lights, and just replace them, get rid of those ballasts once and for all. I'm going to put you on time lapse, so we're going to go ahead and replace all the bulbs in here, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right. Oh, this looks weird looking down on you, but I'm really not looking down on you. You notice on this light, I turned the power on. I've been testing each one as I went. And on this case, this bulb right here would not turn on. I got another bulb out of the box and tried another one, and it still wouldn't come on. So that means one of two things. I've either got a loose wire in my tombstone or a loose wire where my wire nuts are. So I'm going to pull these off, and we'll see if we can figure out where the issue is. Okay, so I went to pull and check these wires, and I noticed this wire was out of the tombstone. So that's my issue. I'm gonna see if I can push it back in there and see if I can get it locked in. See if I can hold you and do that. All right, I think that got it. No, it did not. All right, let me put you down. I'm going to pull the tombstone out. All right, if you pull the tombstone out and it just sort of slides out of these two little holders right here, you can push the wires back in and they sort of grab when you push them back in. So let me seal this back up and see if we get it now. Let me go turn it on. We'll see if it works. Okay, still no luck. All right, there's my other issue. So apparently I had two issues. One, this one wire right here just is not wire nutted in there well. So I had two things going on. I had wires that had popped off from the tombstone, and I also had wires that were not wire nutted together very well. So let's see if we can remedy all of that. Make sure everything's in there good. And you know what they say, 5th time's a charm. I really should test this before I put this cover back on, but I'm confident now. Maybe that's silly. Maybe I shouldn't be so confident. But all right, let's try it now. Haha, success. All right, this is the last one. Hopefully it goes more smoothly than the last. I'm gonna try extra hard not to pull these wires out of the tombstones this time around. Let me tuck these up here. Sort of twist these wires together so that they stay in the middle, out of the way. This back on. And put my lights on. All right, one final test. All right, so you can see the incredible amount of light that these bulbs give off. Again, thank you to Sunco for providing these bulbs for me. I put a link down below where you can go check them out. And I'm telling you, I don't know why anybody would continue replacing ballasts. These things are so easy to install. It literally took me about 20 minutes to replace all these, and that's even with that little issue I had with the one where I pulled the wires out. So again, I think these are a great alternative to any shop lights that you have. You're tired of replacing the old bulbs or the ballasts. Go ahead and go with something like this. These things are very affordable if you're looking to replace the lights or the ballasts in your garage or shop or whatever it might be. Go check out this video if you haven't seen that already. Get out there and fix something. I'll see you on the next video.